Fresh from the showcase here at Swiss Watch Expo. Today I'm talking dress Rolex, specifically the Cellini, and specifically one that may have flown past your radar. So let's check it out. The Cellini, Rolex's dress watch line, definitely doesn't get the attention that the Submariners and the Daytonas of the world get, but they have some fascinating references in the history of the Cellini line, particularly this one, which is sort of a transitional model between the Cellini classics of old and the more modern automatic Cellinis and much larger Cellinis that they're making now. This is what Rolex calls the Rolex Cellini Cellinium, which is a combination of Cellini, platinum, and a millennium, because it is a Cellini. This is made of all platinum exclusively, and it was released shortly after the year 2000 to celebrate the new millennium. So interesting name, a very interesting watch, especially as far as dress pieces go. It's relatively simple as far as the case goes. Round case, relatively straight lugs. It's 35 millimeters, which is going to be noticeably larger than the not even 32 millimeters of the Cellini Classic. The Cellini Classic definitely lived up to its name in being a very, very tiny and traditional sized dress watch. At 35 millimeters and more of a square case, which is surprisingly thick for most Cellinis with a manual winding movement, this is definitely a more modern sized dress case. At 35 millimeters, it is still on the small side and still definitely in the range of what I would consider a unisex watch, and as elegant as this watch definitely is, I think it can work both ways very easily. But this is a relatively simple dress case. It does have Arabic numerals at 3 and 9, which I think does make it a bit more modern than a lot of the Cellini classics you can get, not exclusively a stick marker piece. This does come with a beautiful decorated mother of pearl dial, and as you know, there's plenty of mother of pearl dials out there. Rolex really is a cut above most in the industry. You're getting a beautiful combination of pattern here. Even though this isn't the most colorful mother of pearl, the pattern is still so incredibly rich and like almost psychedelic here. So while this doesn't have a ton of the blues and the yellows and the greens that you would expect in a lot of the funkier mother of pearl dials you'll see in the President, I do think this is great for a dress watch. You don't want a lot of color that isn't going to go with this platinum case. So something with a bunch of greens and purples in the dial, I think, would really distract from the elegance of this watch. So this is a particularly choice piece of mother of pearl they use for this as well. Otherwise on the dial, we do have straight platinum hands and a offset seconds hand here at 6 o'clock, which is something I really love. Most traditional dress watches are not going to come with any sort of second hand at all, so I do love that this piece had it. It's a gorgeous looking, again, platinum case, relatively thick for a dress watch, which I love. This is not so prominent that it would have any difficulty fitting under a dress sleeve, but it's not trying to be the thinnest case imaginable, which I think is great. I do love a good thin dress watch as far as its impact on high horology and how you are really able to fit all those mechanisms into such a tiny case. Rolex didn't really feel the need to do that with this one, and I cannot say that I blame them because, again, this is a super simple dress watch, but it is definitely modern enough to be a bit more versatile than like a tuxedo only type of piece, which is sort of what I consider the Cellini Classic to be if you were a man wearing that. This is still a lot more traditional than the Cellinis they're making now, as you know, exclusively in white and rose gold and with a much thicker 39 millimeter case and a much higher price tag too. So if you were looking for a Cellini that sort of falls in between those, this is a fantastic deal considering this is a platinum Rolex watch with an all factory parts, fully serviced at well under 10 grand, which you are not going to find many watches that check all those boxes in that price range. So if you are looking for a unique dress piece, even for Rolex, you will be getting a piece that even your Rolex collector friends might not be familiar with or might not have seen before. So a super unique dress piece, which is just one of the hundreds upon hundreds of Rolexes we have in stock. So whatever your style, whatever your budget is, if Rolex is the name of the game, then we have the piece for you. So check us out online, shoot us an email with any questions, and do not hesitate to give us a call at SwissWatchExpo.com.